That's what I was told.
I don't see anyone waiting. Anyone waiting?
She couldn't be here today. Citizen.
You don't have to.
Good afternoon.
Wow, welcome.
Yeah, he's official.
So now we have a quorum.
Somebody else is still there. It's Cinco de Mayo, you don't have tacos and tequila.
He has them in the office.
Oh.
So we don't have any guess. Was it posted that we're on Zoom or?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Down at the solid waste, yep. Okay. All right.
We can.
Is he gone?
No, that was a question. No, suspense is gonna kill me. It is. So you ask it. Here it goes. No. Good afternoon. Call meeting in order. So we have 4 members here. I'm missing Peter. Just Peter?
Oh, that's right, sure.
Barbara.
Yes. Mrs. David and Peter. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the place of the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone knows everyone? Good thing. Means we're meeting often enough. Good. Let's dive right into our business. Swap shed. I don't have any new.
Well, as I understand it, the process, based upon our whole life, the process is moving forward for us to be eligible for the grant, is that correct?
So Elizabeth would
And
be
the deadline is beginning of June. The deadline to apply is beginning of June.
June 2nd at 11:59 p.m.
Right.
Please do not wait that night.
11 the latest.
Yeah, I've actually had that. So I waited up and I checked the email, so please get it. Don't go to bed.
No, I think it was left that I was gonna do the application, I believe. Was there any other input before we move on the agenda on the swap shed? And that doesn't put it in place, because they don't vote on that until later this year, I believe December. They vote on that, so we got the rest of the year to work out the actual location, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tentative location, because we don't know if we're gonna get approved.
Most likely, yeah. But yeah, you have time to do all that planning. And
So if we don't get the finances, we're not gonna go forward with it.
You could put that stipulation.
I think we should.
Well, I'm going back to what you said at the very beginning, while I was thinking about trying to save stuff out of the refuse flow. We were hoping that would be beneficial if we had something like this. So if we don't have it, we don't get that benefit. Is that what you're telling me?
That would be one benefit that we don't enjoy, right?
Are you convinced in your own mind that we can't do this on our own?
We can do a hybrid also. This is, just for the structural, the shipping container.
Right.
Right. So we can still consider it throughout the year, the program. Anyone else? Okay. Compost bins, that one's a missy one.
Okay.
I think
Compost,
you wanna bring a couple over, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so
well, I didn't know if,
I was talking to Bob and we have the Cow Chip Festival. And we thought of maybe getting a table to advertise this compost bin, because any other way to get information out to the public would be social media. And maybe if we had something to display, say,
okay,
and you gotta come up with what are we charging and what are we paying?
because the thing is, we need, so the other reason I'm kind of pushing the compost bins is because it also helps you with the grant. You would get a point for the grant, so that actually helps fund it and then some.
Right, it doesn't matter if it's 100 or 30.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's,
It's doing-
right now, it's that you're offering them, and that, you know, be ideal. There's a selection on there that says, how many have you sold? It'd be nice to get at least one there on it. So getting it out there right now and then getting a model, you know, is later on. But most towns don't. They just put it on their social media. This is what it looks like. There are videos that we can put on there as well, of what it looks like. If you want to have one in town hall or whatever, we can get that as well. But just kind of getting it out there.
When is Cow Chip?
May 30th.
It's always a weekend after Memorial Day.
No, we had that discussion, and certainly it's a way to inform any number of people, plus, I think, kind of get a feel for it. So do you think, blah, do you think you'd be interested in doing it? Yes, I want to know, when you kind of get a feel too for the level of interest, I think. It'd be crude, but it'd still be an idea.
So the reality is that I haven't seen any town where it's been no interest. It's not gonna be like hundreds of people are gonna say, you're gonna probably get 5 people a year who want these kind of things, but it's just kind of slow. And it's out there and other towns offer it, and then it kind of builds and grows on itself. So to be honest, like spending a lot of time on it and all this stuff really.
Well, no, I'm talking, in terms of the Cow Chip Festival, we have a table.
Mhm.
People come by and say.
Oh, yeah,
"Listen,
yeah,
that is-
oh, yeah, oh,
If you're
gotcha.
interested.
Oh, yeah, oh, my
Things
God,
on
I'm sorry.
order. No,
I misunderstood
no,
you,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Check
So,
mark here
so
and
when
there.
is the event?
It's always the weekend after Memorial Day.
May
It's
30th.
3 weeks away.
Okay. I got so many days going already.
I can tell you the dates, but they won't register, but everyone knows where Memorial Day is.
Okay. No, I don't. I know.
It's always, Memorial Day is always the last Monday.
So I started putting together a flyer, but it would be nice to have the price of these things.
Yeah. So that's, you need to have the price item for it to put a flyer up.
That's what.
So it's just in Fall River now. I can very easily get you a demo one. My town even sells them too, so I can get one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me double check. I could probably even be
And if
there.
your town's better than ours,
No, actually, I'm not saying that at all. Your town has a recycling center. Mine does not. Which do I prefer? A recycling center. Okay, so it would be the weekend after May, the Memorial Day, so the 31st?
yes,
Okay,
you got it.
yeah, I got it, okay. So, yeah, so I mean, if tabling would be really good for that kind of thing. Exactly, I'm sorry. I understand.
Do you have a larger version?
I think-
Larger version.
I think Liz created that, did you?
No, that was on the, already, from DP. The one that you sent me, that was a picture of it, was really pretty. No, I didn't use it, I used that one.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't think
the
that-
festival is actually 3 days long. The Saturday is the busiest.
Okay, so Actually, it looks like there's three different things on there. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure where this came from, so.
Yeah, I thought of doing that.
Okay, so he just wants a bigger,
Well, just if, you know, so if we hand something out to people, they wanna pick something, you know, a pickup kind of thing. This is a little difficult to read, if we could
Yeah.
make it a little bit larger.
Oh, yeah,
It's two documents.
Yeah, those fonts are great.
Yeah, I can see if I can blow it up.
so
Okay,
what you could do is like maybe make a full-size picture of this and then have a QR code on it. And then residents can, you know, scan the QR code and take them, because I hate to say it, with a lot of events, people take the paper and then,
Just throw it.
QR code is the way to go.
Yeah.
That, someone wants to take this to carry, she can use the plotter, and it turns out electronically, apply it without any size you want. So for the table display, this could be a lot bigger, and this font would show up.
Yep.
Unless she loses the pixels.
Carrie,
Yes.
okay.
So we still need to come up with a price.
Yeah.
So what do they cost?
I'm sorry,
What is the cost?
what is it called?
What is the cost?
Oh, so I think, it depends on how many you order, but I think it's about $67 each. Most, you have the option of selling it at cost, selling it low. Nobody gives them away free in there because the price has gone up, but I would be honest, the sweet spot would probably be around $35. You're losing money on it, but the reality is you want to get residents to start using these things because it reduces the tonnage of your trash. So it's, you know,
That's the biggest weight in that trash right now is food.
yes,
So this would actually, the stormwater's already got a table, this would actually fit with the stormwater, but you can get your own table
exactly.
for the couch.
Yeah.
There is room, but it makes sense to be on
Yeah.
one town table.
has anybody run the numbers on this? Do we know, is there a breaking point where it becomes beneficial to the town? What if we don't get a lot of people joining the program?
Then you just keep the bins on hand, and then next year there'll be another one. It's something that you always have the residents out there. You do always need to kind of promote it and stuff. To be honest, I even have one community where, you know, they've said they haven't sold any throughout the year. Granted, like I said, they might not be selling a lot, but people are still interested in them, so it's very rare.
The actual point, these units, these bins cost $30 or $35. Approximately, you said that's a sweet spot.
So the
No.
bins cost 67.
Cost,
Yeah.
okay.
So they cost 67. Shipping and
Charging
there's still-
residents about
Yeah.
$30.
Yeah. So I'm saying the sweet spot for residents to buy them from the town is about $35. I wouldn't, in the old days when the prices were cheaper, towns used to give them away for free.
No, the only reason I asked is because we were having a little discussion regarding, you know, the benefits and Dave's point. Even if you lost money in this, ultimately, you're gonna break even and then gain just by virtue of less weight. So I mean, as opposed to
exactly.
charging the full price, say, hey,
And then the other thing is you can purchase these and offset that, you know, the cost subsidizing through your RDP grant.
wow, okay.
So this is not coming out of the town budget or anything like that. And then what some towns do, and I encourage them for smaller towns, is to work with someone else and maybe split the order. You know, like if you're both really small and you only sell 2 or 3 a year, split it with, you know, just can't think who's nearby. Yeah, thank you, you know, about doing those.
What's the minimum purchase?
I'm not sure, everyone's different, so it's, you'd be buying them off of state contract, but I think it's like 20. It used to be much higher, but it's like 20, and it's not bad.
Do we have somewhere to store them?
I'm sorry?
Do we have somewhere to store them?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at Tom.
Yeah.
So how they come is because it's on a big sheet of really heavy duty outboard plastic, more or less, as it rolls up into itself. And it's maybe about this big, maybe this tall. So you can lie them down. They're not really that big. But if it is a consideration. Like I said, I could probably get Fall River to just sell you like 5 or 10 of them, if you want to see like how they go kind of thing. because Fall River over-ordered a few years ago, so they have a lot.
That's a good place, that's a good place to do it too, because they're close. They over-ordered, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned another town
Yeah,
before also.
yeah, exactly,
right
so,
there.
yeah, so that's kind of, one of the things for it, but.
Would you be able to obtain one or two, was discussed earlier for our table?
Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, so like I said, if we wanted to go with 5, we'd have one for the table, and then, sometimes people want to buy things immediately, so if they're there and they go, oh, yeah, I've always wanted one of these, then you'll have something to sell somebody. So I would suggest having a few extra as well.
So you say that, so how do we buy 5? Where's that money now?
Where do we get the money from the RDP grant?
When,
Where?
where? Oh, you already have like 18,000 in your,
If the town already has it,
right.
Okay.
I mean, this is money that you've been accumulating, over the years.
So is that something Serena has? Am I gonna?
yeah, Serena would have it,
Yeah,
she would
it's
share
supposed to
it,
be a
she would
dedicated,
have to share the number to get it out.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing that you can do to help promote it is I highly recommend like any, say, nonprofit in town or schools, like if they have a little fundraiser, you could give the one to the schools to like use as a raffle item. You're getting a lot of press from all those parents and stuff that are into it, and again, it's a good educational thing, so it's again another way to get the press, free public information out there.
Can you get them to me? It has to be before our next meeting because.
So,
Yeah.
so we rounded it up to $70 each times 5 is 350. So we can entertain a vote for that, so she's authorized to get the money.
Or,
It's already in the town's coffers from the work that we've done previously. When we do these kind of work, we get grants and grants. So we already have the money to come from, we get 18,000 on hand.
and what it's also doing, it's getting you an extra grant point, which is, I can't remember what it's worth right now, sorry. That's so many. So it's getting you, it's more, let me put it this way, that 350 is going to be more than covered by the grant money you're getting for earning that point for it.
So if you want the 5 to start with, that gives us 1 for display.
I would use $350. Well, Elizabeth used $350 from our state grant money to purchase 5 recycled composting bins. If that's phrased correctly.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Should we also determine sale price in case any are sold? That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's since we're not gonna meet before the culture again,
What day is culture? When is that?
starts the 30th and goes to June 1st.
Oh, I was thought it was the weekend after Memorial Day.
It is
Oh, okay.
the celebration.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I always get messed up, like, I'm like, all right,
Well,
before that. Okay, so I'll get 5 bins from Fall River.
I've heard $30, $35, $40. Again, back to your point.
I
At some point, you get the money back. but
Even though the
we're
town-
reducing the weight.
Even though the town already did the work to get the money we have on here, I don't think we should give them away totally free.
Okay.
No, not at all. No, I'm just saying that.
I like the idea of at least half.
And that, like I said, that seems to be the sweet spot, especially for something that's new, like the 40, I mean, it's, squabbling, but that seems to be the sweet spot for most of my towns where they're offering them,
I think
unless they
if-
had the program for a
If
million
the
years.
town paid the majority, like if it was 30, 37, it would be more appealing to residents, like we're paying
Right.
the most of it. If we're doing the 37, you cover the 30. I think we'd get more interest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is, so you're paying $375 for the 5, you're getting half of that, which is whatever, 6 years, whatever. And then on top of it, you're getting $420 for that grant point for offering these to the town, so you're making money right there. I mean,
$30. Is that reasonable?
I think,
And it's,
30, yeah.
it's almost like going to Ocean State and getting a crazy deal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'm good with 30 or 35. I don't like 37.
No,
No. It's just weird.
30 or 35, I like.
Well, why don't you start out with an introductory price, and then
Right.
after a certain 6 months or something like
Yeah,
that, price will go up to 35. I mean,
You could,
Maybe that's-
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
that math kicks in.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, you could leave it for a couple of years, because the reality is, the town is going to make money on it. Reduce trash, and you're always gonna get the grant points for it, so.
what do you think?
He likes 35.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion for 30, and get a second, then we can have a further discussion.
Second.
What you made me second, any further discussion? Well, they gotta be some, it can't be that easy.
I think we probably had it.
the discussion has to be after the vote.
That's before the vote,
What vote?
before the vote.
After the motion, before the vote.
Okay.
Well, we're setting the price for. I mean, we can always change. We
Exactly.
can always change the price.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, like the cow chip, we want to generate interest, $30.
Right.
We can,
Yeah,
I sense where you're going with it, but we can use this current price as an introductory price, and actually use that word.
yeah, like basically, I think that's a good idea.
And the other thing is, I mean,
It generates more interest.
I've been in
But
sales.
put that word there, so that way they kind of know, well, it's probably gonna change.
Right, and it could be in a year, like, whatever, but finding out what it is, and the other thing is,
Well, you can.
in sales, people like zeros, like the 5 thing just kind of like shifts it a little more, so, oh, it's 30, like $29.99, so it just, shifts it, so the 30, and it gives you wiggle room, because the other thing is, there's another thing that if you want to add on at another time, called the kitchen countertop scrap bucket, and that's $5. So, if you want to like throw that in later or whatever, but,
Well, I think we are where we want to be right now. The table, the introductory offer.
Yeah.
Keyword introductory. I think we are where we want to be, and also asking people if they come up to the table, would you be interested in something like this after an explanation of doing this, to get a feel for how viable, the program may be in the future. I think we're in a good spot right now.
and like I said, this is a grant, where the state really is focusing on reducing food waste in the trash. So this is not going to be a program that's gonna go away. It's gonna be something that's been around for a while.
Any other discussion?
So Elizabeth, I should have you and Fall River for the pricing and all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
I think the last person I did this with Fall River, they never sent any of the bill, so.
If our town administrator lets, the town administrator lets, they can actually pick them up, but you just gotta coordinate it.
Yeah, or the thing is, I'm gonna be doing the technical assistance like I'm doing with you with Fall River, so I just came from there. So I get to,
I'm not sure they'll all fit in your buggy.
I'm sorry,
I'm not sure they all fit in your car. That's why I'm getting.
five will, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because they lie down flat when they're round, so I think before I've gotten 3, I'm with no problem.
Okay.
I just
Well,
want to,
office there, just give me a call.
okay, so or you guys are, yeah, not far away, so I could do that as well.
So all in favor?
Uh,
Right. Any opposed? I do have to ask Missy, so you alluded to the countertop thing, I'm sure that's probably something to cover.
Say that again.
You said part of the spend is
Oh.
countertop container.
So the countertop scrap bucket is something separate that you would buy. It's just a little bucket with a lid on it, and people would put it on the counter and take it out there.
Right.
They don't have enough to give you on that one. That is something that I could probably get from other towns that have a lot. Oh,
Well, I'm just
I
asking,
got
so it costs,
yeah, so I think they're about $5 or $6.
and other towns are using them. I can see that being used.
They're not, and I am encouraging them because I'm a backyard composter myself.
Right.
And to be honest, it's a godsend. Like you go, oh man, I should have gotten one of these years earlier, so.
With
I
the
highly
counter
recommend, I'm sorry.
top? The counter?
Yeah, so it's just a scrap bucket.
No,
So like, if you
yeah,
feel,
yeah.
you know, I was on Garden Supply the other night, oh, you can get one for 60, and it's gorgeous and stainless steel. If you're just trying out composting for the first time, a $5 plastic bucket keeps the insects in, keeps the smells in, it works fine. I don't have an expensive
Just a
fancy.
cat out, the dogs are jumping out of
Yeah.
town. That kind of stuff.
They're boring gray, you know, just pop them in your dishwasher, you know, and if you don't like it at the end, you know, you can water your plants with it or whatever.
Okay.
So maybe you will entertain that after you get some type of tally and whether we, townspeople like it, or do we want to entertain acquiring them to offer it with it.
Small steps.
I mean, well,
I
that's
think
what, that's what I'm
for
getting at. I
right
mean,
now,
it's
maybe
not,
just offering,
Yeah, one at a time.
yeah, the bin,
I think you need to plant the seed.
Yeah, yeah.
Compost the
Yeah,
seed.
yeah.
First, and then, once that starts to grow, then you say, by the way, there's some other options we have. here."
so.
first you gotta make compost.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I think
exactly.
for people, oh man, I got a bucket.
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, you
yeah.
know, we can give them information about using the big folders, you know.
It would be nice to have a bucket inside, so you're not constantly having to go outside
Right,
every day to
Yeah.
fill your compost
Right.
bin. You have an inside bucket, you fill out,
Exactly.
every few days you take it outside.
Yeah.
So it would kind of be nice to have both of
Yeah,
them.
because you want them to develop that.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
you know, I'll go cheap, I'll spend my box on the countertop and then we need it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, yeah, let's get people used to composting first.
Okay.
let's see what the feel is.
Because the other thing is what I want you to do is in the fall, push it really hard again, like promoting these. Because that is really the best time to start composting is because the biggest item you need in your bin are the brown leaves. And so it's really the time when we really want people, and then so we can come back and revisit ordering, you know, the scrap bins and then also the cost of it. So, you know, then it'll be $35, but but wait, you get the price, you know, bin, you know, so,
internet.
yeah, baby steps.
All right, so we're not gonna create a flyer, we're just gonna have something with a QR code.
I think,
I mean,
I will take this over to Carrie.
Yeah,
and see if we
that
can
was,
get it.
I can get you the actual one.
Okay.
That's just me, I used a snippet and pasted it there.
Well, I
So we can
suggest go to Carrie to get a bigger one,
Yeah,
and that's not to hand out, that's just.
No, it's just for people to read it, you know,
Yeah.
on the table, and that way they can get an idea, because right now, it's difficult.
yeah, but that is a tinier version of it, so I'm gonna get you the.
Oh,
the
okay,
whole
great,
page.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, That's just a snippet.
she's saving paper for us right now.
Okay,
I'll get you the actual one.
And then I have, so this is why I want to know about if you wanted me to come to the event, because I do have a lot of information on composting. Like I have big poster size laminated things about how to compost and so we can have a
Yeah, that would be good.
conversation about it, and, you know, that kind of thing, so.
go big or go home.
Yeah.
The more material you have, the better.
But it's stuff that's actually gonna be on the website, so it's just kind of. I'm gonna say, oh, it's on the website, and then look on the, so.
Correct. Right, the next next three things on the agenda are really missies. But let's do D and E together and do a technical assistance by itself. The next two is the grant opportunities and the IDP grant.
The curbside, both of these reminder.
The C, there's, I guess we can mention it, it's not really for this committee, but yeah, it's next week.
No,
I'll just say
yeah,
it's the-
I put it on there because I wanted to let you know that we're not getting much,
Oh, that's right, you and me disagree with it. I'm excited about that, but she's not.
we're not getting, I have maybe 2 pieces of paper filled out, not much.
Oh,
So,
but that must be like 60 stops then.
No, probably like 10.
Wow.
Well, that's a good thing. Missy doesn't like to hear that.
No, but my brain is going, okay, where's it going?
Well, it might be because we changed a few things several last year and they're just taking stuff to the transfer station. They find out it's very expensive to go to 244 now, so they are coming to us.
Okay,
Yeah. And it's the $15 fee, why don't I just pay 30 and get an invoice sticker? Yeah. And have it for
So
the
that's
entire year.
All right, like I said, it's not really for this committee, but yeah, it doesn't hurt to mention it. This meeting, so that's next week already, which, so Thursday, you're gonna email me Monday's pickups,
Yeah.
and then you'll do it every Monday for Tuesday next week and all that.
It's not much.
So it sounds like just two guys in one truck or trailer, I think.
You know, when I say 2 pages, it's because one person has like 7 things to get rid of, so. Not many.
Okay. So the grant opportunities and RDP grant, I'm gonna turn it over to Missy. I'm assuming the swap shed is part of that grant opportunities.
Yes.
I'll be upfront.
so with that, the one particular roll or drop off grant, you can only pick one thing, so you have your interest in the swap check. So there are other items on that. Oh, gosh, cardboard compactor, you know, and then paint shed, food drop off, and then something else. So anyway, so I knew, so I'm like, okay, this is what, so it's the swap shed. Again, so Tom, I'm gonna have you kind of fill it out because it'll ask certain things like where's it gonna go, what size you want, and a little more technical questions. And probably Liz, or unless you can have Liz fill it out and, you know, give her the information, but it's just a little bit more.
Is it too soon today to have a discussion about where it's gonna go?
So so this form, all it is, yes, so Mass DEP just wants to make sure you've thought about this, because believe it or not, a lot of times people just go, yeah, we want this. And then in the past, and then they get them, they go, dang, we never thought about where we're gonna put it. So they just want us to think about, you know, some possible sites where it doesn't mean it's definitely gonna go there, but you know, it might go at the, you know, recycling center, or it might go at the DPW office. You have a couple of spots that you have in mind for it, and that's what you would fill out on the form. You know, we don't have a definite, but, you know, we're in the process of looking at these 3 sites for it. And again, it doesn't have to be there. We just want to like make sure you have a thought process that you've actually given this some thought. So if it turns out to be, you know, someplace you never even mentioned, that's fine. But it's not, we just want to make sure upfront.
But we'd have to go to one of the 2 spots, either the highway garage or the transfer station. I can't, unless you're thinking of another place.
Don't look at me, I went with you when we picked it up.
Is the operating hours gonna be same as the transfer station?
Say that again, please.
The operating hours, is it gonna be the same as the transfer station?
At this time, to be determined, yes, both.
It's a lot of issues involved in answering that question, because if you put it someplace else, do we have volunteers to man it?
Right now,
That's just one of many issues.
right now, you've got kind of a crossover. If it's, while it's open at the transfer station, you got someone there. They might need a volunteer, but at least you have somebody that has to be there.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, ideally you want it somewhere where there will be volunteers to man it, to lock it up, to make sure that there's no dumping and that kind of thing. Council on Aging sometimes.
Good issue.
So it does, there is some good merit to that discussion today
Yeah.
as to location, because it needs to be on the application.
Yeah.
I'm gravitating towards the transfer station. Where it is in the transfer station doesn't matter.
We looked at 4 or 5 different places in town when we went out that day,
Right.
and we wound up at the landfill, and you know, I listened to you make a presentation, and it sounded pretty good. So
It wasn't really a presentation, I was just letting you know stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I got the facts. And I would vote for that. I think that's,
Yeah, that's good. I don't know, do we need to vote on the location? I do need to know where you guys are thinking it's going.
yeah, we should have a vote.
I agree with your point about somebody that has to be there, a staff member in town that has to be there, perhaps assisted by a volunteer, but I think it's much more viable if someone that has to be there has oversight of it. So I think, yeah, either the transfer station, I think that'd be number one, or highway garage.
Taking explosives.
The highway garage needs a volunteer.
How do you swap the points close? Exploded ordinance for a box of items. You know, what's this one?
Well,
Yeah, I don't think Heather would appreciate it being at the highway department.
I think
I
it's,
didn't think of that, but yeah, that's a staff member 4 days a week.
She would appreciate it or wouldn't?
No,
I think it's more natural at the transfer.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
People
Yeah.
are bringing this stuff, you know. where to go.
And the other thing is what you can use, and what we're seeing this with towns who have dwindling attendance at their transfer station, giving them more fun, more exciting options, makes them more like, oh,
That's
so.
what's happening.
So Medfield, Medfield, they have a drop-off program. And for their trash, they don't have any curbside whatsoever. But what we've noticed is that more of the residents are starting to get private pickup. But their transfer station sticker sales are not going down. It's because they have a swap area that is on steroids. I mean, it is mind-blowing. And residents come there just for that kind of thing. It's insane.
so would it be an appropriate motion to say, we have 2 viable sites in mind, transfer and highway garage, to be determined, or you just, boom, pick one? I'm talking in terms of the
I
application.
would say pick one for the application.
Which
If it's strong enough reason to move it somewhere else, then I'm sure we can amend it
Yeah,
somewhere.
oh, yes. Yes.
So I would entertain a motion for the 865 Fremont Street transfer station.
So
That's happening.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next. Oh, next is Silverstein. Any other grant opportunity? We just went through that list. So the IDB grant is the next on E.
So,
That's Elizabeth thing?
what is?
Is that Liz
So
thing?
Liz and I will be working on that one, so Liz and I just have to meet, schedule a time and just make sure
E, we
there's some
just did.
changes.
Now, we're
let me know when
on E,
you're free, Missy.
we're on E, and the girls are just finishing up now.
Let me know when you're free.
Okay, yeah.
You don't need nothing from the committee on E?
We really don't know, so that's something Liz and I are gonna work on together and meet and,
Yeah, not gonna meet a June deadline.
no, I'm gonna, after this meeting, she and I are gonna look at my calendar and we're gonna schedule a time.
But is that due by early June? The IDB grant?
Oh, it'll be due by June we have to have it done by June 2nd, so.
So we're not meeting before that, or we're meeting that day.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
If you need any from the committee, I'm saying.
I
Do you
don't think
visualize?
any of the grant stuff, it's just gonna be basic information of what your programming already is. Actually, there might be. Some little things like getting certain things on your website, but I don't know if that's under
Okay,
purview of your. No zero waste.
Just put something on the website. We don't need any votes to put something on the
Okay.
website.
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah, because we wouldn't be starting any programs or
No.
anything like that.
I can just send out an email and say, if everybody's in agreement, I'm gonna post this.
I'm good with that.
That's fine.
I mean, actually, the only one I can think of, I didn't bring your list with me, was for DEI points, you would have to have like multilingual recycling guide on the website. You'd have to have a multilingual poster at the transfer station, and then cheap and quick and easy is send multilingual and English recycling guides as well to the schools. So it's pretty easy.
Okay,
So, but
before, are we off F.
We're about to go on,
F.
we haven't touched that yet.
Okay. I'd like to circle back to something when we finish the list.
Okay,
So technical assistant grant, so I chatted with Ralph. My original technical assistance was for contracting and pricing and stuff for your previous contract. So that's still ongoing, so my grant can still continue because that has not been resolved.
technical assistant,
I'm sorry?
the technical assistant contract or the trash pickup?
Both. So my technical assistance grant was for helping you with your contract and the pricing issues you had with the bags and the fee and all that stuff. And since it has not been resolved yet, that means my grant can stay open because it's still ongoing. But I mean, they say 80 hours, but we don't really keep track, so.
Okay, well, I'm sure some towns don't take advantage of it, some.
Yeah,
Right.
they might in the future, but
So you guys can talk, okay?
Yeah.
All right, good.
so,
I'd like to circle back to the compost bins.
Mhm.
I think we need to address the logistics of how the table is going to happen for Couchuk. I'm willing to take a day, and stand there and be the representative, but let's get the logistics of this thing done and talk about a table. Okay, how's that going? How's it going to get set up? Et cetera.
So if the Lions know you want a table, there's no charge, they'll provide a table, one of the Lions table on a spot. I just suggested the sheriff of stormwater, because there'll be someone from town doing stormwater, but you can have your own table, especially if you're gonna open. The stormwater table is gonna be underneath that big oak.
Right.
When you first come in that
Yeah.
south entrance, so you're guaranteed shade.
Right.
So you don't take that table, you're gonna be in the sun, close to the Lions setup in the back of the town hall.
Okay.
I have a tent.
So you're still gonna have, you're gonna have foot traffic, but you're not gonna have where all the concession stands are. You're gonna have the people looking for a drink or just seeing what's out there.
So stormwater has tape. How do we let stormwater know like a piece of the table? Because if Nancy's there, she'll pick up the whole table.
We could actually ideally take up the whole table. I have enough information on how to compost and all that kind of thing. You want to have something robust. You don't want to make it look like
Right.
we're just crammed in that
That's-
kind of thing.
So
I want-
how do we make that happen?
I would suggest you go over and talk to her and say, you know who I am.
Who's her?
No, you,
No, who's her?
Nancy.
Nancy.
Okay, I don't mind sitting at.
You know who I am.
Well, would be able to set up under the oak tree also. How do we make
I
this
don't
happen?
think so, because the two kiddie rides that are right there, you're kind of between them.
Yeah,
She gets plenty of foot traffic, people just coming right into the carnival. And people are just grabbing stuff, because that's what people do.
right.
And they already know they're gonna get something somewhat useful from stormwater, because they get a new bag.
Right.
And they use that bag for the rest of the carnival,
Okay,
so they're after her.
yeah, okay, so, again, can she move up a little bit from adjacent to that, or is it too close to the rides?
I think it's gonna make it too tight there.
Okay,
The other
So-
thing is we want
What's
to be
the
far
other
enough
option?
from the rides because we want to have a
Right.
conversation with people.
okay, so we'd have to go down to the farm.
Yeah,
How do we make, who makes that happen? I don't have a table, okay, so how do we do
You're gonna have
that?
a table, it's written down, you're gonna have a table.
Okay, who's gonna make that happen?
I will make sure the
You'll
table.
make that, okay. So we've got a table, if I need to bring along my own canopy, that's not a problem, stay out of the sun. We're going to have, some bins to display.
Mhm.
Well, you won't need a canopy, he said it'll be under the tree, oh, shade.
No, just move it out to the far end.
Nancy's under the tree.
Oh,
Okay, we're gonna have information.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will take a day, stand there and just, verbalize it, and I won't speak out of line for the committee. I won't make it, but I would say, this is, basically what this is about, and the purpose of this committee is to try to reduce waste, and this is one methodology we will follow to do that. Not go any further than that. Is that, okay, what about the other days?
Saturday is the busiest day.
I mean, I'll take the Saturday.
Most of the nonprofits like this just do the Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, like I said, that's not a problem.
Saturday is the
You
busiest day.
just keep me in the shade and keep me full of coffee, I'm good.
What are the hours?
The hours
You
there
start 3-ish.
on Friday.
Friday's a little later than 3, but Saturday would be 3 in the afternoon.
No, they
Starting
start
around,
earlier.
Well,
Saturday's
that's
at
right,
12.
that's right. So it's 3 on Friday, Saturday would be definitely by 1.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday 12. Saturday's 12 to 10 PM, Sunday's 12 to 5.
Saturday is cool.
12 to 5?
On Sunday,
Oh, okay, so what is
Saturday's
Saturday?
Would now.
12 to 10.
12 to 10.
Saturday is
12 to 10.
21st.
Yeah,
Okay. So I can do part of, I can
Saturday,
do part of the 12 to 10.
yeah, Saturday would be the best.
I'm gonna be there Saturday, so. Well, can figure out some times. Yeah,
Do we get any points if we purchase like swag or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
I mean, swag's not a bad idea. You might want to think about some swag.
Can we use RDP funds for swag?
I'm sorry.
Can we use RDP funds for swag?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You can use it for educational materials. So it's kind of open to interpretation. Things like a magnet is not bad, like with Recycle Smart on it, like what can be recycled. That's actually pretty good swag, whether people want it or not. There is another really cool swag that I think would be, it's a little tool, like, and has like 5 little tools on there, a flashlight and a bunch of other stuff. Because that would be promoting the idea of fixing things and reusing them, which is one of those things that we're gonna be kind of doing at some point anyway. So something like that, water bottles, maybe,
I mean, how quickly.
Yeah.
a water
You can
bottle,
get
maybe.
stuff on Amazon pretty quick.
Yeah,
You can brand it, I mean, like, it's a thing.
Hey, so I was
Introduction to the first,
yeah, the swag
I
stuff's
order,
really
if I get
cheap.
on it like today. I
Yeah,
probably could.
yeah.
So I was just resolving a problem that Hale overlooked right now, so I'm sorry I wasn't fully attentive here.
Or even something
Did
like
you guys decide on just a Saturday or Sunday too?
growing, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, was that?
I was preoccupied for a few moments here. What did you guys settle on, the Saturday or Sunday
Saturday. Saturday, 12 to 10.
too?
Yeah.
Sunday's a little less crowd, but it's more Dayton oriented, just Dayton.
Yeah.
Because they get a deal on the rides for the kids.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of parents just waiting for the kids to finish their rides.
yeah.
So that's a possibility. There's also a fire muster, our first fire muster that day also. Just throwing that out there.
I can only do one day.
I think Saturday. Saturday's still the
I think
best bet.
Saturday's,
Yeah,
well, I got 5 ends anyways.
Saturday's the best bet.
Now,
We should probably promote the swap shed too.
Well,
coming soon, swap shed.
I think, so, yeah, exactly, coming soon, this has been discussed. This is, the key bullets of how this thing would work, the philosophy behind it, et cetera, and blah, blah, blah. It's, potential, very high potential for state grant. Would that be fair to say it that way?
Mhm.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, we've applied for that
Also, yeah,
I just had a question, if you're there doing your thing, and somebody asks you, locate that one, what are you, gonna- how are we gonna answer them?
We're gonna have a few to sell.
What's a few?
She's given us 5.
we just
So
bought 5.
after number 5, what do we tell somebody when they're available?
You take orders.
Please and
yeah, I think we
orders.
could probably do that.
Yep.
To take the orders, it's,
Okay.
if we get 8 people, sake of argument, we want them, we could probably sell 5, or I would only sell 4, and keep one available. just say, you know, your name and address, phone number, whatever, email. And we could obtain some more, and then we'll email you or whatever, and then, you know, go from there.
I mean, you could even have a pre-order or whatever, and however you want to.
I would think you just take an order, because you're not taking cash.
No,
It would have to be a check or an order.
no, I say we could, if there's interest there, we'll take an order by virtue of giving this information, we take an order, you can still get the introductory price, and when they come in, come on down. Would that work?
Yeah, but, if we're not, are we taking cash because the ones we have on hand,
Somebody would have to be bonded.
I would say no.
and no one ever saw it?
Nobody's gonna bring you a check.
$2 out of the
Yeah.
checkbook.
They'll all have cash on.
But I wouldn't even say go that far, but mostly.
Wouldn't somebody have to be bonded to take it?
You have to be bonded, you're supposed to do a turn in before the end of the week, which is a Saturday.
Yeah, it would have to be me,
I would just take the order.
take the order. Can you send me the material you have for advertising so I don't duplicate anything? Just send me some pictures of like your billboards or your
Yeah,
bulletins,
yeah.
whatever you have.
Yeah, I was just actually in the process of starting to look at when I,
So while we're beating up this dead horse, so say we got order for 7 with 9. Obviously, 5's not enough. Do we need another vote to make other purchases, or do we just complete the order? You know, just buy them from forever. Does this community need to vote to get the other ones that are needed?
How many does Florida
How
have?
does that work? Because we don't want the people waiting
Probably about
up 30
100
days
voted.
to get it.
there's a lot.
We voted to extend funds from the RDP grant.
Yeah.
So. We could re-vote to, up to a certain amount to cover. Something we don't wanna do that, we do that.
So, well, our next meeting would be like,
Oh, I have to do
Oh,
it in
yeah.
a second, so it's, we're not waiting, that's,
Yeah.
but it's the day after, it's like 2 days
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a hangover.
Well, do you wanna go with what we've got now and then take orders and then have that vote? No?
Yeah, I mean.
Ralph, you just brought up a good point. We're gonna have a meeting the day after the
Correct.
culture, so
Make
Grab
the
it.
vote.
Yeah, we're not gonna have to wait.
so does the town have the ability for people to order something, like pay a bill or whatever online? Like-
Pay bills, yes.
I'm sorry,
Pay bills, yes.
yeah,
Order
So-
bills, no.
No.
if somebody wants to buy it, couldn't we just
Yeah,
have
we
my
have
laptop there and they could,
No, I mean, it's. Currently, no,
okay,
transfer station, yes.
yeah, you can buy stuff, but we have to put it in a module and. As you know, collecting a bit of it, so.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to come and pick up the bin
Yeah.
anyway, so we pick up, pay.
Correct.
So I don't think that's an issue, having to pay online.
It's a good point. Entertain that in the future, but we set up the POS system at the transfer station. It is somewhat mobile,
you should, yeah, eventually you're gonna,
but the transfer station can be open when you guys are selling it.
So if we sell them and they're stored at the transfer station, can we add it to your system?
Yeah, it could be purchased here.
And that's how they can pay for them, because it's in your,
Yeah, when the transfer station is open, yes.
Yeah.
Unless Heather wants to entertain her at the garage. She could, because that's where the device is stored, is at the garage.
yeah, just add it to the POS.
We'll take that under advisement.
All right. So we'll get together about the flyer and then put something together for advertising the swap shed too.
Sure. And if anything you have on either subject.
Yep. so I mean, I can bring just general recycling information, it can be general recycling and.
Okay, is there anything else that was unanticipated since it was posted?
Yes,
You were just sitting there waiting for that.
It's coming away.
Yeah, no, as you know, we kind of discussed it at the last meeting. I'm going to be doing a presentation in selectmen about the enterprise fund for trash. So I just want this committee to be aware of it. The selectmen have to make some decisions. What do they want to do moving forward? Once the, if they want to take it to town meeting vote approves it, then, then this committee, Board of Health, we start doing the work. Just rough numbers. Enterprise fund, right now, our trash, our sanitation costs for the town are about $950,000. If we were to go to straight, just charging, on the tax bill, that would be to the 2,630 households. The cost is $360 a year, 90 bucks a quarter. If we use bags and stickers, so keeping into account normal bag cost, that'll be $200 for the year. So $50 a quarter.
What was that?
If we use bags and the sticker.
To increase the cost of the bags.
No,
Oh.
without increasing the cost of the bag.
Oh.
Just sort of like
Bags and sticker, what did you say, 200?
yeah. And then if we just do straight bags, the big bag would be $7 a bag, small bag, $350.
No,
I'm
absolutely.
just running, I'm just
Yeah,
running numbers very quickly.
So one of the options was increasing the transfer station fee?
No, I got, no, it's like, I'm trying to find out a model that does it,
Okay,
because,
I can send you more. I mean,
yeah.
there's
How do the
data out there.
curbside pickup, what do we do for the curbside pickup, how do we give that cost, we put like a sticker on, I mean, I'm talking about Borges tomorrow, we have a special bin, we put a sticker on the bin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
Right, so there are towns that do like
Yeah,
the bin kind of thing, and,
yeah,
so what I can tell you is sticking with the pay-as-you-throw bag,
mhm,
that does help reduce your tonnage.
yeah,
Data across the board, so that is something that really you need to look at, because it will go
Right.
up if you do a bin system.
right.
And especially when you allow residents to pick out their own bin,
Mhm.
because some, it might look like a 35-gallon bin, but it might be a 39, and,
Right. yeah,
so there's
fill it up.
a lot of slippery slope area there, so.
I mean, there's a lot of different things here, but
When you make this presentation?
making it on Wednesday, and
Bless you.
it's supposed to go before town meeting on May 9th, so he's kind of quick, so it's, that's.
So one of the options, a fee and increasing the bag fees, an annual fee,
Right, an annual fee,
okay,
a fee plus current bag prices,
Okay.
increased bags,
okay.
14th is a presentation.
7. Wednesday,
This coming,
yeah,
oh,
Here on this room,
no, it's gonna be a council on aging.
really?
Because it's special. We don't have a planning board at this point.
Yeah, so you're still meeting the 14th, the regular meeting.
Yes, yeah.
The refreshments for that meeting.
No,
So actually looking at what you had done the last time was, your costs have already gone up about 200,000 from what we were
I
looking
think the
at.
last time they did it, they based it on, I don't know, on 500,000, not 900, I don't know, I'm trying to go back to the notes and see why it wasn't for the full.
What time are you gonna be on, you know?
6 o'clock. We start at 6, and it's pretty much the only thing going on.
Those
numbers, were numbers that came from Tom, those were the actual costs that
Yeah.
I ran the bags against.
Did you look at it?
Oh, yeah, no, I had.
Oh, you got it, okay.
Yeah, and the last time, I looked at last year,
Oh, okay.
it looked to raise $487,000.
You're right.
How much?
Last year, I mean, when Mike did it, it was looking to raise revenue of, it was like 487. Which I think was maybe just for pickup cost. Curbside trash recycling.
Because part of the reason we went up to 280 was to basically take that appropriate fund down
Well, yeah,
to zero. But, I mean, and it was based upon those old, well, the numbers we had.
yeah. No, 280, I think raises, if I remember, it's supposed to raise about 357,000
In that neighborhood.
in that neighborhood.
So you brought this to this committee, did you need anything from the committee, or just giving us a heads
No,
up?
just giving you a heads up. And then what the selectmen decide, then I'll be bringing it to the committee. So, okay, so we look at it, what are the costs, what do we want, you know, what do we want to charge? What is the fee structure, how do we want to implement it?
Send me an email if you need any more specific information where, or like, yeah, way too much information.
Yeah.
What I can tell you just anecdotally is the annual fee and the bag price increase are the most common.
Yeah. No, that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I think that's the most palpable model, but I have to see how it works with curbside.
It should work for the same, yeah. So like, depending on what your curbside increase is going to be, it should be.
My concern is we're going into the annual town meeting fully loaded. So,
How do you, like, categorize homes with annual fees, that everybody gets the same fee, or?
Yeah.
So a single person living alone?
that's why it's feet and bags, so.
Yeah, so it's when, so some examples, so when it's kind of fairly balanced out like that, where it's a little bit of cost from the bags and from the fee, it seems to stabilize people. But when you have, let's say, the town of Medway, super high fees because they didn't want to have the political blowback of increasing the bag costs. So their bag costs have not increased in like 10 years. The fee is up to like, I don't know, like up close to 400 now. And their trash tonnage just got up because there's no more incentive anymore. Then it doesn't matter. They're only, 50 cents, whatever, there's some really cheap price. So they've, it's not working for them. But one of the things I would like to stress is that, and think about this, how you word it, is that let them know trash prices increase every year, like whatever, usually about 5% at least. And the cost structure has to, think about it, you're gonna start losing money by year 5. So letting them know or have some thought process that the bag fee costs and the annual fee will need to be reviewed every couple of years, whatever.
It should be looked at. Yeah.
Exactly, I'm trying to make it that,
Yeah.
yeah. So city of Attleboro does it every single year,
Yeah.
like precise to the penny, like, 103.97, like whatever it is, so it.
So, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I
that's
asked this
fine.
question, but since you believe it should be done every year, what are you doing to make sure that it gets done every year?
Well, here's the thing, we should have, and this is what I'm looking to institute, every year have an annual fee hearing. So that everyone, all the fees in tax should be reviewed every year. And it should be brought, usually towns do it in October, so for the next, whatever, so next year, actual year or fiscal year, it gets implemented. So every year, every town sort of presents, every department presents their fees and say, "Oh, now there's no fee changes, all right, we see costs going up, this is what we want to do. And then the selectmen vote on it. That's how it should go.
Can be procedural or
So-
you have a bylaw.
Are we gonna get to that point?
I wanna say, yeah, it's pretty simple, it's, I have it. They come to my board, I have it written on my whiteboard, annual fee. So-
I mean, you look at the water costs and the
Yeah.
trash, I mean, it's all going up. And it's going to, in 5 years, it's going to,
I called my insurance to add my son, and they only do 6-month policies because the fees change so often.
Really?
Yep. 6 month.
But, yeah, Dave, it's just a matter of getting it on the schedule, it's not, it doesn't take a bylaw change. And just, we get it on schedule and we just do it every year.
So when can we expect you to get it on the schedule?
Well, I'm hoping, this is my intent. In October meeting, I'm gonna set a date in October, every October, we should be looking. So,
For all the fees.
for all the fees in that.
Yeah.
All the fees, in that. Not just this, all the fees.
it's fiscally responsible, really.
This, we're gonna have, this we're gonna have to work out. If it passes at the June town meeting, I'm hoping, that we'll get everything worked out for the special town meeting, in case we have to fund the enterprise, put starting money into the enterprise to get it going. And we'll begin in fiscal year 27.
Is that now?
One more thing, now. I'm all set there.
Next meeting. You already know it's tentatively June 2nd, 3 o'clock, working over it, okay?
Motion to move whatever it's needed for a second. 5.
I didn't do minutes. Can you postpone it for the next meeting? I was gonna do them last night. Then I ended up in the ER with my mother-in-law this time. She got pneumonia and.
Oh, do we-
You wanna postpone the next meeting?
Just the minutes.
so, first off, Bob made a motion for our next meeting. Do we want to actually vote on it?
Do you need a motion for the next meeting?
Well, he made the motion.
I mean, I thought.
He made a motion.
No.
Okay, I withdraw my.
Yeah.
So I will send,
Easy.
for action items, I'll send Elizabeth some of the, handouts and stuff that we'll need for the Lions event and the flyer information as well. And whether, you want to bring the 10, I can bring the 10 on the table, what we'll figure out, whatever.
I have tables, so you have tables, right?
We provide a table.
Yeah.
And chairs?
Pushing it.
Pictures.
You have the wall right there, you can sit on the wall.
It's one or the other, I've got it.
Yeah.
It's 10 by 50.
Bring us something, yeah.
You give us food, the Lions give us free food?
We don't give, no.
You want to give us a hot dog? Not a hot dog? So,
I'll
not
sneak back there, so.
candy?
It's a
I'll
fundraiser.
set up a grill or something.
You pick my square for the couch, if I'll buy you.
Magnanimous gesture.
There is one thing, someone's gonna have to put the compost bin together.
You have to what?
Put the compost bin together,
Is it difficult?
It's probably just zip ties.
that's what?
It's probably just zip ties.
Well, it kind of is, but they're actually at, like pegs, like plastic pegs where it's, wide around like arrows on the end, kind of thing, you slide them in the turn. Yeah, but the thing is, because it's big and it's in a roll, like you kind of need 2 people, because it wants to like roll itself back in, so you need 2 people to
That's
roll.
part of the entertainment. Festival.
I saw a woman doing this, the woman that originally brought this whole program together, and I had photos of her, and it's all nothing but her butt. Because every time I go to take the thing, she's bending over to do this or do that. So there is a video that I can give you to set it up, but no, I draw the line at setting those things up.
Send the video.
Yeah. It's a two-person job, but yeah,
Not the butt video.
yeah, we want to send it, yeah. It's not hard, it's not like I hear or anything, it's just,
We had that at school.
Yeah.
It's good.
yeah. But anyway, so I'll get 4 from forward, or 5 from forward, and then.
I would grab one of those
I'm sorry?
I would grab a countertop one too, if you could get your hands on
Okay,
them.
so I'll get those from my town then.
So we kind of bounced around here. So the next meeting is June 2nd, 3 o'clock. Elizabeth would like to table the minutes. Until then, we'll get caught up on all the minutes by then.
That I can give you the motion for.
So moved.
Motion made to table it, approving the minutes, April 2nd, 7th. Need a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion adjourned.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Very much.
When do we want to meet?